Hey, this is Brian Lee, your favorite digital marketer. And so, as a lot of you know, I've worked with many of the major brands in terms of programmatic advertising, digital advertising, the likes of Microsoft, Verizon, a lot of pharmaceutical brands, everything from MSG to Citibank, just lots of verticals, lots of brands. And so many times I get questions from people on how can I market or advertise like the big brands. The reality is you probably can't and you don't need to, and it's actually probably a good thing, um, because you can simplify what you're doing, and you can do it a lot cheaper. And so, like, I'm used to leveraging enterprise platforms with the likes of Google, the likes of Verizon, the likes of Amazon's, just large ad tech players, and you don't really need that. As you know, a lot of people know that you can leverage Facebook and Facebook ads, um, for Facebook and Instagram to do very well for your business, and that's great. But guess what? As soon as you turn those ads off, all your traffic, your revenue goes away. And then nowadays, their algorithm is updating so much, and then also the data assets are being taken away at a rate that you can't even anticipate. And the beauty of Facebook is their data. That's where you see this success. They have data that is just tremendous. And the way that you could just chop it up previously was great. But a lot of that's been restricted after the last campaign with Donald Trump because of what some of the political companies did in terms of um, misusing the data, using the data in a way that wasn't approved. Um, Facebook is getting a lot of pressure, and because of that, they're restricting the data assets that you have. They're taking stuff away, putting it back, taking it away, putting it back, and so it makes it very hard to create a consistent strategy, long-term strategy over time. Because the reality is, what you could be using today for success won't necessarily be available tomorrow, and you have no control over that, and you have little visibility. You're going to get little warning about it, and so that makes it tough. So for most people, yes, you should definitely do Facebook ads, Instagram ads, as you know, Gary Vee would say, is very, very cheap um, ads. There's cheap ads compared to other channels such as TV, other legacy brands. So yes, you should use them, but I do believe that a lot more businesses, or most businesses, should actually be starting with Google first in terms of building the foundation of the brand. Google is great just because of the breadth of data that they have to you and have for you, as well as different tools to evaluate who your audience is, what's happening on your site, is just unmatched. All of it's free, and it can help you not only with your website, but even with your business to understand what the market wants and how you can position your business as a problem solver. Because when people go to Google, they're going to Google to try to solve a problem. They want to understand how they can solve a problem, what's the best approach to take. They're going to look for information to solve a problem. And that creates a great advantage for everyone, and definitely entrepreneurs who can leverage that data. Facebook does not give you the same type of data about what your audience wants. So, in my opinion, brands should be starting with obviously their website and leveraging Google data as the foundation to lay out the site, to lay out their strategy, to understand who their audience is. And if you get people coming in organically, you can also use tools like Google Analytics to understand the different demographics, psychographics, and interests of your audience. You should be leveraging Google to build your brand, and it will help set you up for the long term and think long term about how your brand or product is helping to solve problems. And then you can leverage that information, use that information to create content then that you push out to social media. So that way you're creating based off of not what you want, not what you think people will want, but what people are searching for and what people actually want. And most businesses, you're going to see that the most qualified audience, a lot of times the most valuable audience, is through organic search through Google. And again, why? Because it's low hanging fruit. These people are raising their hands and typing in a search or question of something that they're interested in. So you know that they're interested, as opposed to many times when you're on social platforms, other platforms, you're pushing out an ad to an audience that you hope wants your product, or you think maybe wants a product, but you don't know. With Google searches, you know that that person is interested in what you have to offer because they typed in certain search terms to try to solve a problem. And so they've raised their hand to say that I have this problem. So look, this is a tremendous opportunity. And Google's not necessarily the hottest thing out right now. Sorry, not the hottest. They're not the newest thing on the block, okay? Instagram is a lot more sexy, or maybe some of the other platforms, TikTok, whatever, that seems to be more fun and entertaining. But the reality is, the breadth of data that Google has for you to help you power your business is unmatched. And oh, by the way, once you take all this information from Google, the largest search engine in the world, and apply that to your website, you can also take a lot of that information and go over to YouTube and apply it there, which, guess what YouTube is? The second largest search engine behind Google, which Google happens to own. So really, when you're doing this keyword research for Google, you're really doing it for like the two largest search engines out there, the two platforms to create content. And you create that content, you can leverage that, put it on your website, put it on YouTube, and you can also leverage that when you push to Instagram, or when you start to ideate on any new platform that comes up, whether it's, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever new platform comes, they're gonna come and go. What's hot, 1 year, next year is another platform, and they go away. You can take all this information and push it. So you don't need to know everything that the big brands that I work with are doing. You don't need that. You need to start with Google and then Facebook, but primarily start with Google, because the brands that I work with, they've already mastered Google. They're ramping up on Facebook, and then they're spending in a lot of other channels. Where TV, we're spending programmatic, we're spending like direct with publishers, which is a lot more expensive. And they're doing that, and they're paying more of a cost per action, or paying more to engage with their audience, because they maxed out on the other channels, the more direct response channels, the other channels where it's cheap, or they've maxed out on organic, and they want to drive additional scale. And so they'll do that less efficiently on those channels, because they know that organic is super efficient, and for the most part they're not paying for that. And so organic is great. It's organic is just people who type in something for Google, and then they just go in search results, come to your site. Technically it's free, but the reality is you do have to invest in it to get it to a place where you're ranking within Google. But the ROI is insane. And that's just in general, in terms of, and that's regardless of whatever type of business you are. You could be a local business. Investing in organic is worth it. Investing in your website and Google, understanding what Google wants in terms of keywords, it's unmatched for local businesses, because you can rank organically, but then you also have Google Maps as well. So Google gives you the Google My Business platform, where you can hop on there, get a listing on there, get traffic coming in from there as well. So local business, it works. If you're an e-commerce business, works. If you're affiliate business, it works. If you're a service business, it works. And definitely if you're a service business. I mean, especially if you're a service business and you have a large price point, people are going to do research before making that buying decision. Where do people go to research? They may ask a friend, for a recommendation, but outside of a friend, they're going to Google to do the research. And so that's an opportunity to position your company as a solution to that problem, to position your company as a thought leader in that space. And so I'm telling you, you need to leverage the data that Google provides. And that's something that I can help you with. That's something I've done for a lot of businesses, like outside of the large businesses. That's what I'm more passionate about. That's what gratifies me more. You know, me helping to continue to drive, hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars for companies that already got billions who could care less about me. No, I mean, like I've done it for companies in all industries. That doesn't matter to me. But what's more gratifying to me is like, you know, smaller people, people that don't know how to leverage these tools, friends or family, seeing the impact that that can have on their business. I have friends from college got their one of their parents' business booming out in Houston, 4x the revenue in like a year, just leveraging search engine optimization, just optimizing the website for Google, as well as some Google ads as well. Didn't even do a ton of Google ads, but leverage some Google ads, but it was primarily from organic. Changed the life of that parent. She was able to walk away from working for a lot of other business to focus on her business because she had enough appointments coming in, and now has the opportunity to decide whether she wants to expand or not. So what she has now is freedom to work for herself, freedom to decide how big she wants to expand it, and all that was done on Google. And time and time again, like, this is something that a lot more people need to know about, our people need to know about. And so that's something that I'm looking to get back, and putting together material, structured material, step by step, of what you need to do to get your business online. Make sure your website is the foundation of your online presence. Get that right, leveraging Google data, and then you can take that information and then go push the social, and you'll have a more informed strategy on not just your business as well as your audience, who your audience is, and not just who you think they are, based off what you feel or based off just the people you know around you, but how to actually look at the data from a large data set to determine who your audience is, what they're interested in, and then how your product, your brand, your service speaks to those folks. So, that being said, let me be the one to help you along this journey and map it out, you know, and it's going to be great. I mean, because I got to be honest, like, for me, initially, I'm doing this for my family. So, this is going to be a blueprint for my family. And then, I'll update it over time. I got a daughter. I want to put this stuff down for her. And eventually, when she's, older, I'll probably have to update it. But at least I'll have the foundation. I want to do this for other family members too, so that there's a clear instruction for others to have the blueprint to go get the bag online. Because once you know, you can do it. That's the difference between the people who are successful and people who aren't. There are a lot of budding entrepreneurs who have great ideas, and they're willing to do the work and execute, but they also just don't know what to do when. And so have to spend years trying to figure it out on their own. And a lot of times people don't have the patience, and a lot of times people don't have the money, the capital to make all of those mistakes and continue to make those mistakes over years and still stay in business before they make a dime. Most people don't have that. So I'm going to lay all of that out. I'm laying it out for my family. I'm laying it out as I scale to put together a huge empire for my team. And as part of doing that, I'm giving an opportunity for those select few people who are serious about taking their brand and building their brand and taking it to the next level. I believe that you can do this. But the question is, are you going to continue to chase the shiny object? Are you going to continue to just try to post on Instagram every single day and think that you're going to blow up? Those days are over. You're not going to blow up on Instagram just by posting and getting people to organically buy a bunch of your product. You know why? First of all, Facebook and Instagram is not even going to show your posts to most of your followers anymore. The organic reach, that's done. That's done. You had a lot of use cases early on when people could do that. Early on, when Instagram and Facebook, the people's got in early, could do that. No more. That's not happening. Only ways you're blowing up is you paying a lot of influencers or you're paying for ads. You're not going to blow it up. So don't go after the shiny object. And, you're late to the shiny object anyways with Instagram. What you need to go off is a data-driven approach that's going to set you up for the long term. Stop chasing shiny objects, short-term strategies. That's not going to work for most. What you need to do is use data and have a data-driven approach to building your business, laying things out for your business, structuring your site, understanding your audience, and taking all that information to help inform your business and to push it out to other channels. Okay? So I look forward to working with you. And definitely, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. We'll be in touch soon.